Welcome to the Pioneer Sideline. I'm your host, Aaron Cooney, and as I mentioned, jam-packed full of stuff, so we're just going to jump right into it. We're starting with women's volleyball, their first ever national tournament berth for the NAIA National Tournament in volleyball. They went to Indiana Tech Saturday, November 19th, just 2 Saturdays ago. Unfortunately, they could not pull out the win. They would lose 3-1 in 4 sets. Point Park, of course, only winning the second set, 28-26. Losing the other 3, 25-17, 25-15, and 25-22. Point Park finishes 35-6 overall. Indiana Tech will move on into the national tournament. But for Point Park University, their first ever tournament berth, and great season for the women. Nothing more you can say about them. The season they had, winning their first ever AMC title. And we're just going to bring in Teresa Davis here and talk a little about this. But Teresa, just a little overmatched possibly against this Indiana Tech team?
It could possibly be that. Well, they should feel no shame in losing to Indiana Tech. You know, they are a very athletically skilled team. They've been there before. You know, some of these games were very close, and they had, if you look at these scores, 25-17. Point Park actually had the lead at one point, 13-11, but then the Warriors came back and took 14 of the last 18 points. And we saw they won by 2 points, you know, and they just overcome the athletic ability of the other team. And the next they had 25-15. They came out with an early deficit of 14-3. And, you know, with that much of a deficit against a very good team, it's hard to come back that way. But, you know, it just comes down to experience.
And it fell short of some circumstances there. Point Park just unable to make up, as you mentioned. But you talk about experience. Is this something, as we'll get into it very shortly, with who they have coming back next year, and the roster is just full of talent. But it's just a learning experience for this team and possibly lead to good things for next year.
Absolutely. They have not been here in this position before in the school's history. It all comes down to experience. They have a lot to look forward to. They have the right now to say that they've been in this position before, and with all the players coming back, we're looking to others to step up for losing Rachel Stadina and Cassandra Maxwell. We look for Lindsay Oberacker and Brittany Loda, the 2 girls in the front line, you know, and we have Chelsea Katkich and Nicole Wurtzel, who we saw great potential in.
And take a look, you look at the season, we mentioned the first ever AMC title win, and some of the other recognition that they got from the AMC conference. Point Park just really took the awards handily. If you take a look, and we'll show you AMC Player of the Year, Lindsay Oberacker, Taylor Puglisi, the AMC Setter of the Year, Coach of the Year, Coach Mike Bruno took that award. There you see first team overall for the AMC, Lindsay Oberacker on there, of course, Brittany Loda, Taylor Puglisi, we mentioned Nicole Wurtzel, and honorable mention Rachel Stadina, who had a fantastic season. And you brought up the 2 names. They're only losing 2 players, and what is there to look forward to till next year, as there's just talent keeps coming up, and you still have basically that whole first team from the AMC coming back for Point Park.
Right. Well, we see at the top there, Lindsay Oberacker. She's a menace in the front line. You give her the ball and she's going to kill it. We also saw Setter of the Year, Taylor Puglisi. She's very smart, very court aware, and will be very useful for the team next year. And we still have Mike Bruno, obviously, Coach of the Year, did very well with these group of girls. And you saw a lot of character come out of this. Yeah, if they win and they expect to win, they can build an ego. But they do expect to win, but win or lose, they're coming out the next game prepared, and they're not going to just be down about the game before that.
Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to for this Point Park team, and you just going through the highlights. What a great season it was for the Pioneers, and you'll see throughout the AMC tournament that took place right here on Point Park soil at the Student Center Gymnasium. The first ever win against Walsh University. Point Park, a longtime AMC foe, finally got a win against them for the first time ever, and it just all led to, you know, a great season for Point Park. Nothing else, you can't really say much else for this Point Park team with what they accomplished throughout this year.
It was nothing short of an outstanding season. They played 41 games with 35 wins, the top in the school history. I mean, that's fantastic, and you can't ask for anything more, especially with the group girls they had.
Yeah, exactly, and just as you mentioned, a lot to look forward to next year, as we'll see a whole lot of players, and also Mike Bruno, never knew who he's going to bring in. You look at Loda and Puglisi, who we brought in this year, that we weren't expecting the way they stepped up, and Ashley Campbell was there as well, another transfer that came in, and Point Park has a lot to look forward to the next couple of seasons, and of course we will be here all year next year as we were this year to show you how Point Park fares. Taylor Pugliese, Teresa Davis joining us all season long. Thank you for your great analysis. It's great to have volleyball specialists here for Point Park on the Pioneer Sideline. We can't thank you more than enough.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be sure to stick around. We're going to jump right into basketball as they've had at least 13 or 14 games between the both of them, so stick around and see how they did.